If you're aiming for the body in a real fight, you're already lost. Winning a self-defense situation is about headhunting. And if you don't know how to shut down the human computer, you're going to get buried. In this video, I'm going to teach you the most effective ways to headhunt in a real fight. Let's check it out. Within my contemporary fighting arts system, headhunting is defined as the deliberate and strategic targeting of an assailant's head as the primary impact zone during a self-defense encounter. Targeting the head in a self-defense situation offers immediate and overwhelming tactical benefits. The head houses the body's central control systems: vision, balance, cognition, and consciousness. Disrupting any of these through targeted strikes can rapidly incapacitate an attacker and bring the confrontation to an end. Headhunting leverages the anatomical and neurological vulnerabilities of the human body. When executed correctly, even a single well-placed strike can cause disorientation, loss of balance, cognitive shutdown, and unconsciousness. These effects create a window of opportunity for escape, control, or follow-up action depending on the legal and tactical demands of the situation. Now, some people will say targeting the head isn't new, and they're right. But what is unique is how I apply my probable reaction dynamic methodology. Now, probable reaction dynamics, or PRD, is the strategic study of how an adversary is most likely to respond physically and behaviorally when struck during a fight. PRD is about owning the next move before it happens. You strike, they react, and you're already ahead, exploiting openings that they don't even realize they're giving to you. And when I isolate that system to a single anatomical region, the head, it becomes something entirely different from what anyone else is teaching. Before we get into the lesson, if you want to explore my headhunting concepts in greater depth, check out my book, Combat Pressure Points, which teaches you the most effective ways to exploit your opponent's vulnerable targets in a real fight. No fluff, no theory, just what works. The link's in the description down below if you'd like to check it out. And if you're interested in diving deep into my probable reaction dynamics and headhunting methodology, watch my video Maximum Damage. It's available for purchase on my website at sammyfranco.com. I'll put a link in the description down below if you want to check that out as well. Now, if you're a War Machine Elite member, this video is available for you to watch for free in the members only section of the channel. And if you're not already a War Machine member, hit the join button below and check out the different membership options we have available. So what is the PRD from a finger jab strike? Let's replicate. I finger jab Tommy, he bends over, he covers his face, covers his eyes. We're not going to throw linear strikes at this point because the face is being covered. We're going to circumvent. We're going to throw hooks or elbows. And you can attack either the ear or the temple depending on the use of force justification. Uppercuts are out of the question because his wrists are blocking it. So again, when we throw the Tommy, bring your hand back up. We finger jab, he bends over. We either throw hooks or elbow strikes. No uppercuts and no linear strikes. Let's talk about a strike to the nose, okay? What's the probable reaction dynamic? So if I throw a palm heel to Tommy's nose, it exposes his throat, his head's reeling back. We can follow up from this point with a chin shot, with a rear cross, or assuming it's legally justified, deadly force, we can throw a strike to the throat. But the most important thing to understand is when you hit that nose, the head is going to go back. This is your area of attack. This is your area of attack. We probably would not throw an uppercut because he's too far away. We don't want to reach up like this. We would actually use an uppercut if he came forward, and we'll talk about that in a second. So against a palm heel strike to the nose, the head's going to reel back, exposing the throat or the chin. The chin is what you want for intermediate use of force. A deadly force situation would be a throat shot. And a throat shot would be the web hand strike right to the windpipe. The next type of attack is hitting the nose on a downward angle. For example, Tommy and I we're engaged in an argument. There's a situation that justifies striking. My hands are up in de-escalation, and I initiate a short arc hammer fist on that nose. Now, because of the trajectory of the force, he's going to be going down forward. His head's going to buckle down forward. When he does that, generally they cover up. Now, if he covers up, you could see the lateral side of the head's exposed. Again, an elbow strike would be ideal. A hook can be utilized, but it's got to be super tight. I would prefer more of an elbow strike from here when they cover up. So understand, we're attacking the lateral side. Generally, when you're attacking linearly, they cover up. So that exposes the lateral side, and you have to exploit that. So the elbow is a great strike. You can also deliver a knee strike following that strike to the nose on a downward angle. For example, here I'm de-escalating, I strike Tommy in the nose, he bends down, grab the back of the neck, drive it into knee strikes, okay? So you can actually, again, we're still headhunting, but we're utilizing the knee instead of the elbow.
Dude, what are you doing?
What are you talking about?
You took my table.
Okay, first of all, I didn't take your table. The hostess gave us this table. That's between you and them.
No, that's between me and you.
No.
Because you took my table.
First of all,
and you're gonna move.
Before we move on, just remember, I'm only covering a few key headhunting targets here. There are others, and the PRD responses I'm showing you can change depending on the attacker's emotional state, your striking accuracy, your impact power, and whether it's a first strike or follow-up hit. Now that you understand the variables, let's move on to the next headhunting target. So the probable reaction dynamic against a temple strike is that his head is going to whip violently, assuming you put some power behind it. Keep in mind that the temple is right where the sphenoid bone is. It's very thin between that and the brain, a very thin bone between your brain and the surface of the skin. So if you hit that with a tremendous amount of force, you could kill somebody. So this must be justified. This is a deadly force target, and I talk about it in my book, Combat Pressure Points. So for example, let's say I finger jab Tommy, he covers up, I throw that hook punch here, that head is going to whip. And that's going to give you an opportunity to throw the other hook. So for example, if I throw a hook here, there's my next hook, or even an uppercut. The idea is it's a perfect setup for the rear hand. So if I'm throwing my lead hand, his head whips, it sets up that rear hand to come across. So it's a great 1-2 in terms of throwing hooks or even an elbow strike. Just understand the head is going to whip. It's going to set up the next strike, which will most likely be a hook or an elbow. Now, when throwing that hook punch, it's very important that you maintain the structural integrity of the fist, wrist, and arm. Many people will throw hooks and their elbow is going to be too low and you're going to get a break. You've got to have that elbow line up with the wrist and then the forearm. Very important. So when you throw your hooks, you can't have that elbow drop down. It must be up. Same thing with the lead hook. You drop that elbow down, you're going to have yourself a break. It must be aligned. We call this the structural integrity, skeletal alignment. This is what you need to ensure in a street fight that you're not going to break your wrist. Next is we're attacking the chin, and in this situation we're going to use a palm jolt. So Tommy's here, I'm de-escalating, I drive the shot up. Now the palm jolt is a quick snap, so you're not pushing his head all the way back. So as I jolt him, again we're exposing the throat and we also have the lateral sides of the head. The best follow-up technique from here can either be another chin shot here or a throat shot. And again, I'm saying it and repeating myself, it must be legally justified to strike the throat. So you have to understand, when you do that palm jolt, it really causes his head to reel back. He's off balance. Could you throw body shots? Of course you could. But if we want to really attack the head, we want to be a head hunter, we got to follow up with something else. So again, we have that palm jolt. We could throw another palm strike, or in some cases, we can also throw an upward hook or a rear upward hook. It all depends on how his body's going to take that shot. But let me tell you, if you throw a really effective palm jolt, chances are anything else you're going to follow up with is just going to be overkill because he's going to be on the floor. The next target we have for headhunting is the throat. And I'm going to say it again and repeat this. It must be justified in the eyes of the law. Attacking the throat is a deadly force target, so make sure it's justified. So the scenario is I'm diffusing the situation, my hands are up, I'm going to strike Tommy in the throat, I'm going to initiate a web hand strike right to the throat, just like so. The reaction you get is they cover the throat and they gag and they buckle forward. From here, we have the lateral sides of the head. We have either an elbow strike or a hook strike. We can even deliver an uppercut straight to the center line of the face. So from here, we can circumvent around, we can uppercut, but again, the most important thing to understand is they're gonna cover up, they're gonna gag, and they're gonna freeze. There's always this freezing mechanism that occurs, especially with these high value targets. Headhunting is a critical street survival tactic. In a real fight, poor targeting gets you hurt or even killed. Train with purpose, strike with precision, and always control the fight before it controls you. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you at the next video.